Hi, my name is Chris and this is Battle Nonsense. So, a few days ago DICE released the spring patch for Battlefield 4, which brought us 5 new weapons that were completely free, and it also fixed quite a lot of issues. Most of these changes are pretty straightforward and easy to understand, but that head glitching fix seems to have quite a big part of the community confused. So, since I see an endless amount of posts on Battlelog and Reddit which are filled with a lot of false informations and misconceptions, I decided to make a video which explains what exactly DICE changed and what they attempted to fix. So let's start at the beginning. What is that head glitching? In my visual recoil it's all in your head video, I showed you that the bullets that you fire do not come out of the barrel of your weapon as you might think. In fact, they originate in the center of your view, and that means that they come out of the eyes of your soldier model. Which does sound quite silly, but to be fair, most first-person shooters work like that. One of the big exceptions are military simulations like Arma, where the projectile actually comes out of the barrel of your gun, and not your eyeballs. So what this means is that a player can hide behind cover and only expose his eyes. Since the bullets come out of the center of his view and not the barrel of his gun, this means that he is able to shoot over that object and hit other players that he can see from top to toe, while he is very hard to hit as he only exposes a small part of his player model. So if you learned where on the map you had the perfect head glitching positions, then you could get quite an advantage. But not just that. Players were also accused to be hacking, because from the perspective of the other player, it looked like he shot through a solid object. The spring patches now fixed this issue in the retail version of the game. This means that if I now try to head glitch, then my shot will end up inside the object and not hit the player. All I need to do now is make one little step and then I will hit him just fine. And this behavior is what confuses a lot of players right now, because they are used to having the projectile originate from the center of their screen, from the center of the crosshair or the red dot. And that is what the spring patch changed. Now the bullets spawn below your sight, inside the barrel. But how are we supposed to hit anything now when the line of sight never intersects with the trajectory of the bullet? To fix that we have a zero distance. This means that at, in example, 80 meters the projectile will hit exactly at the center of your reticle. Before and after that distance you have to compensate for the difference between your line of sight and the trajectory of the bullet. What is also possible is that your line of sight intersects 2 times with the projectile's trajectory. Like when I would zero my gun at 180 meters in this example here, then the projectile will hit the center of my crosshair at 30 and 180 meters. So spawning the bullet inside the barrel rather than your eyes means that you might be able to look over an object, but if you fire a shot then it will end up inside that object, as it is directly in front of your barrel. What you need here is barrel awareness, which means that you have to be aware of what is directly in front of your barrel before you fire a shot. Now let's have a look at the specific changes that have been done in the spring patch. Here we have a DMR where the projectile now spawns 6.35 centimeters below the center of your screen, which brings it down nearly where the barrel is. When we fire one shot, then the projectile will at first travel slightly upwards, go above the center of your view at about 90 meters and leave the center of our sight at 100 meters, which is the zero distance of DMRs and sniper rifles. So just like in real life, the projectile spawns below the center of your scope. It intersects with your line of sight at the distance that the gun has been zeroed to. And if there's an object directly in front of your barrel, then it will impact in that object even if you can look over that object. So for DMRs and sniper rifles, the projectile spawns 6.35 centimeters below the center of your view. The same value is used for assault rifles, LMGs, carbines and PDWs. For pistols, the projectiles spawn 2.5 centimeters below the center of your view, and for shotguns it is 5 centimeters. This distance is the same when you fire from the hip and when you aim down sights. To use different distances was not possible for technical reasons. The zero distance is also different for these weapons, as the developers want to use values that fit the purpose of these guns. And since the suppressor affects the speed at which your projectile travels, it will also lower the zero distance, as you can see here. For the PDWs we currently have 2 exceptions. The guns that come with mounted suppressors use different values than the other PDWs. But it does not look like this was done on purpose, so it's possible that DICE will bring these in line with the other PDWs in the next patch. So that's the current state in Battlefield 4 after the spring patch. Now, I've seen a few people ask why DICE decided to do it that way instead of just lowering the view of the player down to his shoulders, so that he would basically look through the barrel of the gun. While that would have indeed fixed the head glitching issue, it would have introduced two new issues. Number one, you would feel very tiny when you look at other players, because since your view is stuck between the shoulders of your player, you would have to look up to see the face of the other players. And the second issue is that you would see projectiles pass over your head and think that they missed you. Yet you will take damage from a headshot because the entire head of your player model is on top of your view, which is stuck between the shoulders of your player. Another suggestion is that the developers should continue to spawn the projectile inside the barrel of the gun, but simply zero the guns to 0 meters. Now, when we look at my previous graphic, then this would mean that you have to do this, which is obviously not going to work either. Now, I know that it is always a bit strange when something suddenly no longer works like it used to. Like that you can't shoot bullets with your eyes anymore and that they actually originate inside the barrel of your gun. But this change is really easy to adapt to because it's easy to understand as it works like in real life. It removes the "how the hell could that guy shoot me through that object" moments where you could only see the eyes of that player, and it increases the depth of the gameplay, and you are literally only required to make one step away from the object in order to hit the player. So if you have further questions, then please leave them in the comments down below, and I will do my best to answer as many of them as possible. If you enjoyed this video, then give it a like, subscribe for more, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, have a nice day and take care. My name is Chris and this was Battle Nonsense.